Okay, I'm just having a look at Aweber. So if anyone's using Aweber, you might find this quite useful information that I've just recently discovered, and I've contacted support just to sort of clarify this. After watching a video recently, I saw someone say that they actually stopped using Aweber because they were getting charged for their subscribers on different lists. So, say for example, they've got a list of all their subscribers for their blog, for example, on that one list. Once they've added them to a different list where they might have opted in for some free training, or they might have made a purchase or whatever, then once they've gone onto that other list, then they get charged or they count for a second subscriber. So basically, you're getting charged if that one person's email address is on 3 or 4 different lists, then you're going to get charged 3 or 4 times for that same email address. So I contacted support just to sort of clarify this. So you can see here, I'm asking this guy, Tom, I'm thinking of using Aweber, but recently heard that if I add list segmentation, basically each time I get charged, would I get charged each time someone is added to a new list? So 1 subscriber on 4 lists would equal or count as 4 subscribers. Is that correct? So you can see he's replied, yes, that would be correct. Subscribers are stored separately on each list, since lists would function completely separate from each other. Most customers we have, in cases where they would be in that situation, use automation rules to unsubscribe a person from lists when they join new ones, though, or just use one list with tags. So I've asked him, okay, so even though the same email address they use to subscribe to your blog, when they buy a product or opt in for a free training, then they count as a new separate subscriber. So I'm just clarifying this really. This wouldn't take long to require having to upgrade, even though you realistically still have the same amount of subscribers. So that's because all the subscribers aren't stored, but as I mentioned, on each separate list, customers will have different lists set up for different businesses or services and wouldn't want that data overlapping, since it would be relevant in such cases. So subscribers that are new to a list have their own subscriber information. Again, in this case, you gave most would just set automation rule to unsubscribe someone from their blog list when they make a purchase and are added to another. Then simply delete their unsubscribes. So then another thing that I heard recently as well is that when people unsubscribe, their information is still stored as an unsubscriber. So when people are deleted from a list and stored in the unsubscribers list, I take it you're still charged for them on that list. If they're deleted from a list, we wouldn't be billing you for that. Unsubscribes would be billed for that if the data is stored on the account. Well, it would be, because they'd still be down as an unsubscriber. Okay, so I've said, okay, but when they're deleted from a segmented list, is their email automatically stored in an unsubscribed list, which I'd be charged for until I deleted them from that list too? And finally said, if someone is unsubscribed, that email would then be on that list as unsubscribed and not in some different list unless you move them yourself. From there, you can either delete them entirely or keep them on there if you wanted to use the data information. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, when you're looking at the pricing, then for example, this 500 subscribers, $19 a month. Now, if you've got 500 subscribers and you've got obviously a few of those added to a different list and you haven't removed them from the previous list, then obviously you're going to have to upgrade to the next package. So if you've got a bunch of people on one list that are all subscribing to your blog, for example, when you really need to pay attention to, obviously, when they get added to a different list, you need to make sure that they're removed from that other list, because otherwise you're going to get charged twice or 3 times or 4 times as well. So it's not going to be long before you start paying a lot more, even though you've probably still only got the same amount. Well, you still only got the same amount of subscribers. You're going to end up paying more. So it's something that I don't know. Other autoresponders don't do this. I know. In this case, if you've got 500 subscribers that are paying $19 a month, I I know other autoresponders, they don't charge you for the same person just because they're on a different list. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear your views on that. I know obviously if you keep on top of it and you're making sure that they're automatically removed from a previous list if they're added to another one, then that's fine. But if you actually want them on 2 lists, then you got to be prepared to be paying twice as much basically. So yeah, like I say, it'd be interesting to hear your feedback. So just looking through this, it doesn't really, subscribers. It doesn't actually say anywhere that I can find. It doesn't say that you'd be charged, twice for the same subscriber. It doesn't really make that very clear. Not anywhere that I've seen anyway. So it's just something that I think some people might miss, and some people might be, if they're not making a point of deleting these people from a previous list when they're added to another, then obviously they might be unaware that they're paying, far more than they would normally, for the same amount of subscribers. So I just thought I'd share that with you, and we'll leave that there.